My name's Rebecca Witzke.
My name is Adrian Witzke.
My name is Grace Weingard.
And my name is Tom Weingard.
We've gone to Trinity Grace coming up on 3 years in December.
I've lived in Long Island City for 6 years.
I've been here for 2 years.
I love this neighborhood because it's kind of a blank canvas still, a little bit. There's a lot still going on in terms of its a formation of identity, its ethos, all that.
I think Long Island City is unique because it's situated in the most diverse borough of all of New York City. And so you really have such an interesting cross-section of people living here.
Just the history behind this place of being, once all factories to now, filled with high-rises. You've got a mix of, call it the old Queens blood, mixed in with the new transplants.
I really see the old parts of the neighborhood and the new kind of really beautifully coexisting. And I think that feels very authentically New York to me, and that's like a more and more rare thing. Long Island City is really down to earth. Just the neighborhood, the people.
There's something about just the setup of the actual neighborhood. You feel isolated, but you don't, and that isolation almost creates its own little world, own little community where, you're going down to the grocery store, you're going down to the bodega, and you end up running into someone that, you end up seeing for the next month or year.
I mean, I've lived in New York a long time, and it's not very often you even know the guy or the gal who's living next door to you, in terms of just community building and loving your neighbor, which is what we're commanded to do. Like, what does Jesus want us to do? Well, love your neighbor. That comes out in a lot of different ways, but one of them is just getting to know them. And I think it's been easier for us in this neighborhood than it's been in most, and we've lived in a lot of different neighborhoods in New York.
The way we've been trying to get involved with people's lives is just connecting with them. The Who is God class is a video series that basically go through what it means to know God. And it's really interesting because we get all walks in here. Like, there's a Muslim guy. There's people who haven't really been to church in 10 years. There's people who are on fire, for God. So it's very rewarding because we get to go through it together.
I think shortly after we landed here, which was kind of just a practical solution, a space for our family, we really fell in love with this neighborhood. And our desire to stay here, put our kids in school here, open businesses here, run soccer organizations and matches here, created an ability and a desire to make more room and make more margin for opportunities to even share Jesus. Because when you're just too busy moving on to the next thing day after day, there's so little time to do that. So I think here our perspective shifted because we could see ourselves here for a long time. So we want to make that time matter, and we want relationships to build and form. Some of the ways we've been involved this past year, significantly, I guess, would be hosting the married group at our home last year.
For us, it was really, it got us involved. So we benefited greatly from it because it would be difficult, as Rebecca said, to schedule that time with people outside of Sunday service. So having that time there was always a little bit of a struggle to get that Monday night going, but once we were done, we're like, wow, how awesome.
There's so many new high-rises continuing to go up, and that means many, many new people. And to have a church where they call home is what I hope TGC LIC becomes to them.
The city can be so lonely, and I think people get used to that and used to operating alone and independently, whether they're married, single, young, old, new to the city, long time in the city, and that you don't have to go through it alone.
If someone asked me, like, why do you go to TGC? Why do you even know God? I'd say, New York City is a big And there's only one answer to that, and it's God.